Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Just 2019 World Indoor Bowls Championships, live here at Potter's Leisure Resort for your evening games. Coming up next, we have Jordi Lowe versus Andy Squire, which is part of the round robin stages of the overseas singles. We'll come and explain that to you very, very shortly. And we've got two games on for you tonight. After that, we also have Malcolm Whyte versus Lawrence Hurwitz. That again is part of the overseas playoff. We have your match officials for this game. Umpire for this game is Bernie Hill, one of the trainees, and chief umpire marker Alan Thornhill. So we hand over ringside to Richard Baird to introduce our players live.
Well, good evening and a very warm welcome to the International Arena here at Potter's Resort for this, the playoffs for the 2019 World Indoor Singles Championships. Who will go through to that coveted first round place? Well, now to a qualifier from Hong Kong, who's a former Hong Kong International Gold Singles Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, your appreciation please for Jordi Lowe. Jordi, enjoy the match, mate. God bless you. And our next player from Essex has many national titles to his credit, including the former England national outdoor singles champion. Ladies and gentlemen, will you welcome, please, Andrew Squire. And your commentators for this match this evening is Francis and Janice. Over to you guys.
Thank you very much, Richard, and great games on all day today for you. We've got two more this evening, starting with Jordi Lowe versus Andy Squire. We saw both of these players this morning. It's all part of a round robin of qualifiers. One of these players throughout this qualifier that wins the round robin will face Nick Brett on Wednesday in the full draw. It's a bit interesting to try and explain this to the viewers, Francis, about how the round robins work. But they have to play two sets of 7 ends. Meters. They have to play every end because shots could count at the end of the day when all the games have been played, which is a little bit different for the viewers out there. There's no tie break. It's just 2 sets of 7 ends. It's turned out to be quite an interesting group so far, Francis.
Yes, Jordi and Andy are both in second place, tied with 3 sets from 2 games that they've played. Jordi has a superior shot difference. However, leading the pack at the moment is Dan Le Mesurier, who has 4.5 sets from his 3 games with a shot difference just in excess of Jordi. So what both of these players would be looking for tonight is to win 2-0. The permutations,
around about 7 inches past Jack High.
We'll cover towards the end of the second set, maybe when we see how it develops. But each of them is looking for a 2-0 win tonight.
Yeah, and basically Jordi Lowe qualified through the Hong Kong qualifiers to be here, and Andy Squire, because we keep saying it's an overseas playoff, but the place Andy Squires is in is kept for the WIBC. That was the World Indoor Bowls Council winner for last season. That winner was actually Stuart Anderson, but as Stuart's in the main draw already,
12 inches.
It goes to the runner-up, and that's the invite went out to Andy Squire as he was the runner-up. And it just so happens to be that he's an Englishman. Played very well against Dan Le Mesurier this morning. But interesting to see how these two players cope tonight. As I've got Francis with me, it's same old story, folks out there. If you've got any questions, umpire questions in particular, ask them away, and also let us know where you're viewing from. I believe we've got some viewers in from Switzerland already that might be another new one to add to my list. I shall have to check my list. But do let us know. We like to know where we're being viewed at. It's quite interesting. We went into a Bucks Fizz reception for new arrivals at Potters.
One red.
And I've been involved with those for probably about 10 years and gone into so many of them, and it was the first time tonight I actually was given a question I couldn't answer, and I called in the capable assistance of Francis. I said, I need an umpire. And it was quite good.
Unfortunately, I was the only person around.
You were the available umpire at the time. Unfortunately, it was a question that I knew you'd know the answer to, but it was an interesting one. They'd been watching the game with the Australians versus Greg Harlow and Nick Brett, and they'd seen that
Dave Rankin
had walked up the rink with a bowl in his hand, and their question was, what if he'd have dropped that bowl, and what were the consequences of that? So that was quite an interesting one today, Francis.
Yes, it's something that the marker and the umpire would sort out between them, much to the embarrassment of the person that caused the damage. Andy's having an early run at this and takes the bowl clean.
He played a couple of very good runners this morning. He's got his eye in for the runners.
Andy will have a definite advantage here with his greater experience on an indoor surface. I'm just looking through the player profiles. Andy's probably a very happy man today. I noticed that his favourite food is a Sunday roast.
Yes, it was interesting because he played Dan Lemessurier this morning, and they'd both named Sunday roast.
2 shots, Andrew Squire.
So they could have perhaps gone for lunch together today. And indeed, I've just checked my list of previous viewers on our streaming, and Switzerland is a new one to add. So
wow.
That's good. We've had Belgium and Switzerland today, both new ones to add. So do let us know, because we like to keep track, and also our sponsors Just Here and Potters and the other sponsors that are involved with World Bowls often like to know where our streaming coverage goes out to. And we've got Pennsylvania and Egypt listening in now, my director tells me.
Pennsylvania.
I'll have to check both of those now.
I'm wondering if the
Shetland, 26.5
viewers
metres.
in Egypt are holiday makers, or if they're completely new to the sport.
Well, if they're completely new to the sport and have any questions. The Egyptian viewer is apparently from Wales, my director tells me.
There we are.
That's a bit like we've got the American qualifier here is from Wales. And I notice he walks around in Welsh rugby shirts most of the day, so which is a bit confusing. But I haven't actually got Egypt on my list. I'm now checking Pennsylvania. Oh, sorry, Pennsylvania already appears. But Egypt is added to the list.
Your bowl 15 inches short of Jack High.
Tomorrow morning we start again at 10. We've got 2 games for you then. Dan Lemessurier versus Jordi Lowe, and Lawrence Hurwitz plays Andy Squire. And then of course we've got the 2 big games, the 2 semi-finals of the World Open pairs. Paul Foster MBE and Alex Marshall MBE versus Colin Walker and Ronnie Duncan. An all-Scottish affair is the feature of semi-final 1. And semi-final 2 is an all-English affair. Mark Royal and Andy Thompson versus Greg Harlow and Nick Brett, a repeat of last year's semi-final, which is no brainer result of an England-Scotland final a week on Monday.
Both players settled very well in these first 2 ends, and both have just had a little run at it.
Both played well this morning, which makes a difference. Bit of confidence.
Bit of experience as well, because it is different to the bowler's bar that the
Two
original
green.
games would have been played on. The first round robin.
Shot bowl is jack high, exactly jack high.
Not an easy bowl to play on the portable rink. Just trying to reach the green bowl. It does tend to just swoop under.
No, favour, you're still 2.
No shot clock applied in these stages. That was a question we did have earlier, Francis.
Yes. Well, a couple of points to bring up. One that you did on the first end, where all ends have to be played, so even if a set is beyond winning, the ends still have to be played, because shot difference could come into it in the final reckoning. And secondly, no shot clock, and there's a different set of rules which apply to visiting the head in that case.
Close here, got it solid. What a great running bowl that was from Jordi Lowe.
Two shots, Jordi Lowe.
Set score 2-2 after 2 ends.
So honours even after 2 ends. Each player not averse to using a bit of weight if they have to, but
Top
2 good
length,
ends. So far.
28.5 metres.
Yes, certainly interesting 2 opening ends there from these two. Looks like it could be a good game on the cards here. Of course, the overseas players had to play a number of rounds to get here, and then they pay the travel to come over, so they want to make the most of it when they're here. I know I was talking to the American Dan earlier, and he was saying if you get the opportunity to play here, you want to make the most of it. You don't want to let yourself down. So that'll be going through the minds of all of the players out there.
I was talking to Dan myself this morning, and he's really focused on winning this group to qualify, because coincidentally he will end up playing Nick Brett, who he also played in the first round in Scotland, and Dan was not too pleased with his own performance. He would have liked to have done better, knows he could have done better, and he just wants the opportunity for a little bit of redemption.
Yes, I agree.
So beware the man on the mission.
Yes, he said about his game against Nick Brett, it wasn't a game, he just walked out on the rink and got battered.
2 green.
So he wants to try and put that straight. And even though Dan
Last bowl is
won
16
the
inches short of
Overseas
jack high.
Qualifier of the Year award last night. I noticed he was on the soft drinks and then went to bed very early compared to a lot of the competitors last night. He's really taking the job very seriously, which is good to see. Certainly a good athlete within the game.
Just going to run with this one a bit. Great line in.
Two green.
Interesting, Francis, the bowls are just not finishing just quite as much as they did earlier, and the green has slowed quite a bit, so see how they cope as we go along.
Yeah, fewer people in tonight, and it maybe just cooled off a bit, but I'm sure people will come in after dinner's finished.
I favour red, Andy. Yeah, it's close.
Down a good track again here, Andy. Needs a little piece of the red bowl to sit off it if he can.
Shot at the moment, but it's on the tilt.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to walk too close to that bowl. So 30 seconds for it to sit out, isn't it, once a final ball comes to rest, Francis?
Yes, if a player requests the 30 seconds, they can have it.
Well, that ball's been conceded anyway.
Jordi was happy that that was the shot.
One green, measure for two. Just those two balls. Yep.
Umpire Bernie Hill being called in to decide on second shot. Looks like it could be red. She'll go back to the red bowl just to check that the measure hasn't moved at all.
One shot, Andy Squire.
One shot to Andy. We were mentioning earlier about the trainee umpires and markers that are here. These early stages of the World Indoor Bowls Championships here, and that was what we were saying about earlier. Bernie will have never measured a measure with a TV camera as close to her hands, checking every movement with so many viewers watching, and that can make a big difference. You've got to be confident in your skills out there, and we all do it. We do it here. We watch Alan Thornhill chocking a bowl and check another bowl doesn't move. We watch Francis Fletcher doing a caliper measure. Is it close or not? You know, we do it. It's a natural thing to do, but and that's something that these trainees have got to take on board.
You know, when it comes down to it, it's still a measure. It's whatever you bring into your thought processes to enhance the fear or trepidation or confidence that you have. And after a few measures, I mean, Bernie's just done one there, after half a dozen more maybe, you just think, well, this is a measure. And you don't actually see a red and a green bowl. It's just a measure between 2 or 3 or 4 objects. You get down, do it, make a decision, off you go. But I can remember my first measure out there. Brian Daly was the marker, and it was about a 4-inch caliper measure. And a little bit of a shake here and there, and Brian's comment was exactly that. He said, a little bit shaky there. But it's natural, it's a natural reaction. But then once you've done it, it's fine.
And all 3 of the guys
Yes.
that are training here have said that they've watched, and they've been on duty on the rink. They've actually watched the streaming coverage back to see themselves how they felt. Bernie was saying earlier that she felt so much confident in the second game she marked. The first game she was a little bit tense for, but she did a good job. So now Andy's gone for cover here.
I think that's a smart move after the second end that he dropped to. Clearly Jordi's not averse to having a run.
And he's going again here.
Second pop at it.
There we go, we see our ditch cam there. It's a bit of a distance between the touching bowl, which Thornhill just marked, and then displayed a marker on the back, so the players at the far end can actually see something to identify where the bowl and jack is. A little bit of a funny look there from Andy Squire. Do I have to get to that position?
That's a good effort, you know. Past the tee, yeah.
1 green. Last bowl short of the ditch. 6 feet, 7 feet.
It probably doesn't look it from that end. Of course, he could actually go up and have a look at that. He's played 3 bowls. But I think sometimes players just like to stay at the mat and keep in the rhythm.
Well, there's not much in the way to negotiate. He's just got to clear the green bowl. 2 yards to spare.
Can they stop?
And get some breaks on it, but he's just overcooked it. Easily done.
One shot, Andy Squire.
Set score 2-4 after 4 ends.
That was the other thing Bernie said to me when she replayed it. She said, I came over very Lancashire. And there's nought wrong with Lancashire, lass. Nought wrong at all.
And it just goes to show that you have to be yourself out there. I have to say all the new guys have taken on the constructive comments that we've fed back to them, and they've done very well.
Jack length 27 metres.
And I think in fairness, Francis, the all 3 arrived keen to learn. I know Dominic got fairly emotional when he was saying that he was so proud and pleased he'd been invited, and whatever happened he had had a fantastic experience and thoroughly enjoyed every minute of it.
Well, it's a big step up. It isn't just umpiring or just marking or in particular something that's totally new to all of them, which is a shot clock. It's the environment how it works, the communication within the team, little signals that we make to each other so everybody knows what the situation is in a game, and then the kind of standard operating procedures we have with what we say at certain times. But it is a fabulous experience and a great opportunity. And who knows, in 20 years' time, one of them might be picking up a long service award like Alan last night.
Yeah, he was only 5 when he started, he tells me. He's now got to the ripe old age of 25, you know. So
2 green.
And of course Mike Davis, who wasn't there to collect it, but
yes,
he also got
20 years as well.
Yeah, and that's a wonderful achievement.
And I believe there is a trophy in the wings waiting for Mike to receive it sometime this next week.
Yeah. Mike will be joining us ready to start bright and early on Wednesday morning, I think.
There's a gap of
Just checking my
2 inches.
rotor. Yeah, 10 o'clock Wednesday morning, Mike's on.
Urging this up, wants a little piece of the jack, he's very close to it.
Great effort.
Great effort.
1 red.
Confident player Andy Squire, plays a lot of bowls.
Second bowl is this one.
Plays out of the Falcon Club. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people tuning in from Falcon to watch. It's Chelmsford, Essex.
Two red.
Well, won the national triples in 2012. Mixed fours national win in 2007 indoors, so quite a pedigree there.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that I've been told that Falcon is a reasonable paced rink as well. So that's probably suiting Andy Squire out there.
I'm not sure they haven't got a British Isles Championship there this year.
I was about to say that I do need to really speak to Andy about that, because I'll be representing England in the singles at the British Isles Championships, which are at Falcon, along with the 2 international series. They're there this year in March. For those overseas that are tuning in, the British Isles is obviously England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales and the Channel Islands send their national winners.
3 shots, Jordi low.
Triples, fours, as the senior fours as well.
Set score 5-4 after 5 ends.
And we play off for the British Isles title. And 6, 5, 2 up, Andy Squire.
Track length 27.5 metres.
very slightly in front, about half an inch in front.
Sorry, I did tell everybody earlier I couldn't add up. It's 5-4 to Jordi Lowe. Playing in 6.
Slightly favour your bowl, Jordi, but it's very close.
I'm going to have to put pen to paper in a minute and work out the permutations if this set is squared. I didn't cover that. We'll see how it turns out and then do some sums.
That's really close now.
Standing on the fence, Mr. Thornhill. It's really close.
Sorry, your bowl is, the gap is 2.5 inches.
Andy, you're just going to have to keep putting bowls in there. Great bowl, Andy. That's fantastic.
1 green in the measure.
And good appreciation from Jordi as well. That's always nice to see.
Oh, what a great head of bowls. I think both players, yeah, they've asked to come up and have a look, and quite right too, and Alan's allowed it. It's such a tight head of bowls. You really want to know what the angles are. You could ask Alan all the questions in the world, but often it's a little bit quicker to come and have a look and get the angles yourself. Of course, when we operate under the shot clock, they can come up after every bowl if they want. Well, there is a shot available down the backhand here. Francis, I think he might choose that. Anything into his own red bowl. Chance of the jack. Of course, I'm saying backhand.
Yes.
Jordi's left-handed, so it's his forehand side, but as was right-handers would say the backhand.
One red.
Great result there from Jordi.
Could be in a whole heap of trouble in a minute, though.
Yeah, well, it's that sort of a head, Francis. It can go backwards and forwards. Can this? Might all be down to the fact that Andy Squire's got the last bowl. Well, this has got to be reaching because it's very tight.
Option, yeah. Really difficult option now.
No, he just tried to play that 2-yard on shot, which is tough at the best of times on the portable, but when it's running this quick, it's almost impossible.
And that's only just in the ring.
Can make you look a bit of a fool at times, can that shot? And we've all done it. And then we've all stood there afterwards and said, well, we shouldn't have played that.
Yeah, I spent hours practicing on it, and I still try and play it. I think he'd have been better off playing through the wing pair.
Yeah. And he might have got a little piece of the jack as well. Well, Jordi's had a good look at this. We'll have decided where he thinks the biggest danger is.
Well, Andy's got a live bowl just in front. Jordi's got a live bowl just to the left as we look now, but I still think running down the backhand to take the pair out with, you know, some intention is as good an option as just overdrawing it.
Well, we also know he's got the wing bowl now, so if it did flick out sideways, he's probably got the re-spot as well. And we just played just over the weight. And this will just hang off for him, like I say, a bit quicker at those two bowls was the option.
I think you need to be sort of ditch weight without pole driving into it.
One shot, Jordi low.
Set score 6-4 after 6 ends.
Yeah, 6-4 after 6 ends, one left to play. Of course, it could be tied. Andy Squire could score 2, but at the moment it's the Hong Kong qualifier that's in control in this set 1. Don't forget, if you are watching at home, you've got any questions,
28 metres.
to send them in to us. We'll try and get them answered for you. Francis is with me for this game, and Dan Blewett joins me for the second game this evening. So I've got a couple of umpires with me that can possibly answer any questions. Something about whatever you see out on the portable that's a little bit different to what you might play at home. Great opener there from Jordi.
Yeah, anything less than Andy winning the first set is going to make life very difficult for him. If the first set is tied, then Jordi would just need to win the second set, and then effectively we've got a single shootout between Dan and Jordi in the final games tomorrow. And as it's a head-to-head,
it comes down to a last game, Francis, in a round robin.
Yep, that would be a head-to-head. That's the first game on tomorrow. Dan against Jordi. So, in the context of the whole group, this end is pivotal at the moment.
Your bowl, 7 inches short of jack high.
Just under the line here.
One red. Last bowl, 12 inches short of jack high. That one, 7 inches short of jack high. One red.
Well, if nothing else, Andy, if you can't get shot with this, you need a back bowl.
Yeah, to give himself a chance, really. Got to score the 2 to tie. He's gone for it. Close. It stayed close as well. There's probably only about a foot of room
One
there.
green.
One's not enough for Andy, so Jordi just needs to be close to this. I think Andy's only option at the moment is to draw another, because I think Jordi's bowl is currently second anyway. So just something closer in. Put pressure on Andy to try and draw inside it.
Couple of feet second is not bad. Not much space for manoeuvre up there, and the jack is close to the ditch.
Well, he's out on a good line for it. Watch your weight, like Jordi. It looks to be running.
He's ditched.
Looks to be running. Well, now, different story now, because Andy only has to get past the red bowl, which you see to the right hand side of your screen. If you can pass that.
Got about 4 feet for second, I would say. Yard past the spot won't be far off, you know.
No, I think that's what you've got to sort of picture in your mind, where you would play to the re-spot, and just think of just passing that by a yard.
You don't need to get to the jack, you just need a yard short, past the spot. Sweaty palm time. It's not that wide on it. Got to run.
No, it's only got to beat the red
Gotta
bowl.
run. That's
Going to do
looking
enough.
good. That's
Gonna
good.
do enough. Yeah, great bowl.
Right, I'll start doing some sums then.
2 shots, Andy Squire. First set tied.
So first set tie, that could put a slightly different complexion on proceedings. My co-com now is busy doing his sums in this corner.
Jackland, 28 metres.
Well, by my reckoning, Andy is struggling a bit now. He's going to need a massive win, even if he wins the second set. He's going to need a massive win tomorrow to overcome the points difference. Jordi, if he wins the second set, will certainly tie Dan on points, and if he wins by more than one shot, he'll be ahead on shots as well.
Of course, Andy Squire plays Lawrence Hurwitz tomorrow morning, who features in our next game up this evening. Whyte from Canada versus Lawrence Hurwitz from Israel. That's your next game on this evening. Lawrence has played 2 so far and lost 2.
Yeah, he's just got half a point, so he's tied 1 set.
1 red. Your bowl 2 inches short of jack high.
Good ball, Andy.
One green. This bowl is 4 inches short of jack high.
So had some really good heads from these two playing in this direction. Could have got a result if he'd have got the other red bowl. But now he's in a little bit of bother at this end, Jordi Lowe.
It's 2 green, Andy. Bowl fell.
Andy's still in with a shout by my reckoning. If he wins the second set.
Oh, great ball there, great position. Sits down. Might even have got third.
Certainly packing him in there.
3 green.
Yeah, good ball.
Well, with the toucher in the ditch, I don't think Jordi Lowe will mess about here. That's likely area where the jack's going to go. If he gets his own red bowl, it's good. Really you want shot bowl. I know that sounds obvious, but shot bowl gets a piece of the jack into the back ditch. Playing the timer. In the area. I think he might have just been unfortunate there.
Yeah.
Not sure where the green ball went. He's got a toucher in the ditch. Well, he's got 2 touches in the ditch now. And the jack looks like it's still inside the confines of the rink. It is.
Yeah. So it's difficult between those two. 1 green and a measure.
Yeah, as you see there, the green ball closest to the yellow marker on the ditch bank. Or as the Australians would have called it this afternoon, the pond bank. I might start calling it the pond. Good enough? It could be extra long tapes if he's looking for 3.
Yeah. Umpire, please.
Yes, it's going to be
Take these 2, Jordi. Yeah.
the long strings measure here. 2 green declared. These are the measures that do take both the umpire and the marker. So Alan Thornhill to the right of your screen will touch the jack, and Bernie, there you go, that's a great ditch cam shot. Oh, that's what ditch cam's all about, marvellous.
Well, yes, you can see what's happening.
Oh, the ball in the ditch. You often say that the ball in the ditch is closer because it doesn't have to take the string over the end of the ditch. It takes a good 3-4
2
inches
shots,
into
Andy
it
Squire.
No less than Andy deserved on that end. He played 3 good bowls.
Yeah, Yeah, they've not been as tight aheads playing away from the commentary position, but it's certainly been a good game. Jordi Lowe's won many titles out in Hong Kong. National fours, national pairs. He won the Hong Kong Classic back in 2015. Good credentials. English is very good as well, which you might view as if you stick about seeing a
Jack length, 26.5
after
metres.
this game. We interviewed some of the players. You'll get to see that in the break between games. Good start from Andy Squire there.
He's upped his game a little bit in these first couple of ends.
I think tying that first set, Andy's probably got in his mind what he has to do to win the group. And we were saying earlier, Francis, with the group stages, weren't we, that you
Your
must
ball,
go out
9-inch
with
gap.
the thought that you have to win every game.
Yeah.
To qualify. So if it's got it in his head that he only tied the first set, then he'll be thinking he needs to win this second set, and he's really come on to a great game.
Andy's task at the moment is to win this set and his 2 sets tomorrow. That's about the only way he can win, and even then he may not. If Dan Lemesurier wins 2-0 tomorrow, his shot difference will take him through. Andy would need a massive, massive score to get through.
And again, we haven't seen this Lawrence Hurwitz yet from his rail to know what sort of a player he is. Going to find that out next game up.
Jordi has a number of permutations that would get him through, based on the fact he's playing Dan
last ball,
tomorrow.
Just over 2 feet.
See how the next few ends develop.
See a number of the singles players, qualifiers in the crowd watching. Notice Ian McIntosh is out there. He won the Carlisle qualifier. James Rippey's out there. He's received one of the Potters wild cards.
It's your 2.
Into the event.
4th ball. Last ball.
Also the Welsh qualifiers out there, Damien Dubler, they're all genning up on how to play the rink.
Two green.
And you'll be happy with those 2 shots there. Just looking what's best to do. I think he can afford to draw another in here, really, Francis.
I would, yeah, forehand draw just inside his own wing bowl, looking for the back red.
Yeah, he doesn't really want to make a target any bigger, but at this stage it is possible to draw. He's lining up on his backhand.
As long as he's not tight, just to sit the short red down, he should be okay. He's probably looking to split the back pair. Yeah, that's not a bad bowl there. Very good, very good.
He certainly played some very good bowls the last few ends. And Jordi's having a look at a runner again. He's been on target with all his runners. Got an unfortunate result at the last end, but Still a draw. He's only 2 down in this set. He's confident with his runners. He's off target with this one though.
2 shots, Andy Squire.
Set score 0-4 after 2 ends.
So a good positive start from Andy, who has to win this set to give himself a chance tomorrow.
I said before, it's always quite good if it comes down to the final day in these round robins.
Jack length 25 metres.
So that's 3 twos he's scored, isn't it now? Last end of the first set and these 2.
Yes, and he scored a 2 at the very first end of the first set as well, so he's playing very consistently, is Andy. Jordi's really the one that's having to convert things.
Good lead off. Good reply.
Fantastic reply, he's just been unlucky.
1 green.
Yeah, because he's offered Andy a catch as well.
Last pole past Jack, 6 inches past Jack high. 5-inch gap.
Close again. What a good bowl.
Yeah.
2 green. Quickly.
Well, that was a very decisive answer there from Alan Thornhill. Squire says, can I come and have a look? And Alan Thornhill said, quickly. And Andy did as he was told. He was very quick.
Alan must be in a good mood tonight. That's twice he's let him up.
Let's get that award last night for
Yeah.
20 years service with the WBT.
Each request to come up is treated on its merits, and the 2 times he's allowed them. The first one was a very tight head, although the jack was clearly visible. This one, the jack isn't visible, but you just need the angles to sort out. And Jordi could have come up as well at the same time. I don't class myself in the same ability of these players, but sometimes it's best to not see what trouble you're in.
Just put it down wide. You could see his idea there, just to trail the jack. And he's got to be careful here. He doesn't really want to get any piece of his shot bowl, because it just could push the jack into the open. Needs to be a nice wide draw.
I think if he splits Jordi's closest to, so just through the gap between the two and settles, takes away the possibility of a count of 3. He just locks on the middle. Oh, forehand, is he? Interesting call. Or is he looking for cover? I think he's gone for the spot. Okay.
He's covered the spot, I think he's closest to the spot, and also covered the back as well.
Yeah.
So he must think that Jordi's going to try and change something here. Sticking with the forehand line, which is his backhand. Tough shot to play on there.
Yeah.
Is that just reaching ball? You've almost got to play the draw and hope
2 shots, Andy Squire.
hope it comes back for you. 6-0.
Set score 0-6 after 3 ends.
Start doing some sums again.
Andy's certainly in control of this set.
Shot length 26.5 metres.
A great reply there from Jordi. Squire came up with the goods again there. Thought Jordi might have just changed his hand, because you can see more of the green bowl off the backhand.
One green.
Played the right sort of weight for the job.
Called for an inch.
Andy's certainly posing some questions now for Jordi. He's just turning the screw a bit now.
Chose the right hand, I think, that time, just touch wide. Now Andy, can he put the pressure on again here and draw another shot in?
Well, as it stands, Jordi doesn't have a look in at the moment. One down and not great position to play to.
I think Andy might have been playing a cover bowl there. I think it's probably, if he was playing cover, it's gone a bit too far.
Yeah.
But I can't see the jack going that way,
No,
Francis. I
no.
really can't.
I think even if he manages to strike Andy's shot bowl clean and not move the jack, I think the angles are going to take his own 2 bowls out with it. I think he's just going to have to draw this. Maybe damage limitation. Yeah. Well, Andy may have just wobbled on the seam to save that. I think.
He's played those runners very confidently, though, so obviously was quite.
Yeah.
One shot, Andy Squires.
Set score 0-7 after 4 ends.
See you over there doing some more sums, Francis.
Yeah. All these shots are helping Andy reduce the deficit against both Dan and Jordi. But looking at it, if Andy wins this set, then all he needs to do tomorrow is to better Dan's result.
Jack then, 25.5 metres.
And then if Jordi beats Dan 2-0, Andy would just need a set and a half to win. But the more shots he can get now, the better. Because he's not going to peg back Dan on shots alone.
Good here again. Tell you what, Francis, I've seen worse bowlers out there this week. He's certainly...
he's going through the gears now, certainly.
Yeah, piling on the pressure.
One inch.
And the thing is, Andy isn't just getting a close bowl, he's nailing it.
He's really nailing it. I think he's in the area again here, just behind's very good.
It is.
That's a great bowl.
Yeah, absolutely no width to the head at all. This is an impressive set he's putting together.
It is, it really is. I've not seen many better sets by a player on the portable rink, to be fair. He's played very, very well.
Especially tying the first set backed him into a corner. And there's no option for him but to win the last 3 sets, so the 1 tonight and 2 tomorrow, as it stands at the moment. He is slightly fortunate in as much he plays second of the 2 games tomorrow, so he'll know exactly what he has to do. But this is impressive. You'd almost call it in the zone bowling.
Yeah, he seems very focused in this second set, Francis.
2 green.
He seems to have, you know, he's putting the balls in the places that he thinks the danger is as well, and certainly working for him.
Great effort.
Two green. Sorry, front bowl's touching me.
I think if he covers his backhand spot, I don't think he can go far wrong now.
Very composed out there, very sure of himself in a positive way. But he's played at such a high level for so long within his club and county area that I think the game this morning's just given him the chance to settle down.
Just overrun it. May have covered that. May beat the red ball. I think the worst he can do is lose one looking at it at the moment.
No, I can't see anywhere where Jordi's going to get a count out of it.
Such a difficult
Great
shot.
effort. Great effort to get shot.
He's
If
done
it sits
very
down,
well there.
what a great ball.
Very, very good. In the circumstances, that's tremendous.
One red.
One red.
One
Well
shot,
done.
Jordi low.
That took some doing.
Still gives him a big
Set
ask.
score
Mm.
1-7.
But it does mean that he can
5
change the length of jack. Might make a difference.
Jack length 28.5 metres.
Yeah, certainly gone longer, Jack. Now need to put this first bowl in pretty tight. And he has done. It's not a bad lead.
No. So it's better if you can cover the jack from your opponent's side.
Yeah,
But
he's not
that's-
happy with that.
Yeah, but that's within about 15 inches.
Change of length. Let's see how that's affected Andy Squire.
Close.
No, that's 6 inches past jack high. 1 red. One red. One green.
I think Jordi might be shaping up on his forehand for this. Drag the jack about 4 or 5 inches, could lay 3.
It's very interesting. He's playing his backhand. As commentators curse sometime in here, you just overplayed it.
Well, Andy's won the second set. So he's achieved the object having tied the first. And all games have possibilities tomorrow now.
Worth getting up in the morning to watch then, Francis.
Yes.
One shot, Andy Squires.
So we're going to the final end. Andy Squire's guaranteed
Set
this
score,
second set.
1-8 after 6 ends.
It's all about shots now for Andy. Stay with us if you can. We've got another game coming up tonight. If you can't stay with us, don't forget you can pick up all the news on worldballstour.tv. But we're going to this 7th end with Andy Squire 8-1 up.
Okay, with Andy definitely winning that set, he ties with Dan now on 4.5. So all Andy needs to do in the second game tomorrow is to beat Dan's result.
25 metres.
If Dan wins 2-0, then Andy's going to need quite a shot difference to get through. But if Jordi beats Dan, then no matter what, Andy only needs a 7.5 to go through.
There were still really 3 players
Yep.
in and about then. The last game tonight really doesn't affect anything then. The 2 players this evening can go out there and enjoy the game.
Yeah, if Jordi wins 2-0 tomorrow and Andy doesn't win, then Jordi can still go through. I think Andy's played a magnificent second set here.
He really has. He's been very focused and composed. It was almost like when he just tied the first set, it gave him the kick. He was 6-4 up, 6-4 down rather, if you remember, going into the last end of the first set. He got a 2 to tie it 6-all, and that almost gave him the kick to push on in this second set gives himself a chance for tomorrow.
Well, from that position, he scored 10-1 and played exceptionally well.
Just overplayed here again, but still not bad bowls.
3 green.
You would very much like this to be 3 green at the end of this end.
It would make life easy tomorrow with certain permutations if you could pick up a count here.
Jordi might be in with shot. Oh, it's just going to sit the wrong way.
May have taken one out.
2 green.
Yeah.
Two balls left to come in this game.
Three green.
I think Andy should be extremely proud and pleased of his performance in this second set.
Yes, I agree. If he can take this sort of performance into tomorrow's game. Oh, he didn't like that, didn't
No,
Jordi?
that's a good count for Andy.
Yeah, we just
3
said
shots,
it
second
finished
set at the match to Andy
3.
Squire.
Andy would be happy. What a great game there from Andy Squire. Certainly the second set. It was outstanding. We do have another game coming up for you this evening, don't forget, so please.
And of course, because it's a round-robin preliminary playoffs, they'll be playing again tomorrow, both players.
After a couple of trial ends, we'll be starting our second game, which is Malcolm Whyte versus Lawrence Hurwitz. And of course, we're talking about a few of the overseas qualifiers here. And we caught up with some of the overseas qualifiers and asked them about their journey to Potters.
My name is Boaz Marcus. I'm from Israel. I've been playing bowls for 27 years.
I'm Jordi from Hong Kong. I've been playing for PBA for about 10 years. It takes about 30 hours to change to Dubai and to UK here. And this is my second time to be playing in Potters. In Hong Kong, it's popular playing outdoor and both indoor. And my club have both greens, indoor, outdoor. And I think the green speed, the pace is like 18 seconds. So it's similar to the portable ring right now, up to 18 or 19 seconds.
I always describe it as changing from playing in sand and playing on glass because the speeds are very, very different. I'm very, very lucky. I have a great coach up in Scotland, so I've been here a few days before. But it just gave me some sort of an idea of and the changes that I needed to make in a very short time. And that's part of the hardest part for the international bowlers, the changeover and to adapt a very short time to the speed. Every time I've been here was a special atmosphere, and it's still here, so it's just great to be here. And I'm sure I'm speaking on behalf of all of the bowlers, especially the international ones and the non-ranked players.
The environment in Potters, I think, is one of the best club or one of the best resorts in the world.
Well, it's always good to hear what the international players have to say. Great VT there. Join us very shortly for Malcolm Whyte versus Lawrence Hurwitz. Welcome back this evening, ladies and gentlemen, to the Just 2019 World Indoor Bowls Championships, live here at the Potters Leisure Resort. Hopton-on-Sea, Great Yarmouth, Norfolk. We're on GMT time and we're just coming up to 9 o'clock. And your next game coming up tonight is still part of the Overseas Qualifiers round robins, and we'll come to that in a moment. And it features Malcolm Whyte of Canada, and he's playing against Lawrence Hurwitz of Israel. And of course we have some great match officials here at the World Bowls Tour, and featured in this game we have your marker is Bernie Hill and your umpire is Alan Thornhill. So we'll hand over live onto the rink to Richard Baird to introduce our players for this evening's game.
Welcome back to the International Arena here at Potters Resort, and making his first appearance in a World Bowls Tour event since 2009 is this qualifier from Israel. Please wish him well as I welcome onto the rink Lawrence Hurwitz. And now this qualifier has come all the way from Canada to be with us today. 3 times a North American Challenge champion. Will you welcome, please, Malcolm Whyte? And your commentators for this match is Janice Gower and Dan Blewett. Good evening, both of you.
Thank you very much, Richard. And your last game on this evening, part of the Overseas Qualifiers round robin. This features the Canadian, we saw him earlier today, Malcolm Whyte, and he's playing against the Israeli qualifier. We haven't seen him out on the portable rink yet.
Jack length, 28
Lawrence
metres.
Hurwitz.
The red lights keep going. Can we get the lights off?
Just a slight technical issue we've got at the moment. We've got the lights flashing for the walk-ons at the top end of the rink, so just bear with us. The players will not start until, and do not have to start until those have been turned off, because they are a bit off-putting, so just bear with us, folks.
Alan.
Perhaps the lights were just a little bit tired as well. They've had a long day. So back to the match here. They play 2 sets of 7 ends. There's no tie break in these round robins as part of the Overseas Qualifiers round robin. But, just to clarify, the bit of a mix-up with the officials screen there. So just to clarify, in case your eyes are deceiving you, our marker is Dominic Simcoe and our umpire is Neil Bryce, and Bernie Hill out there as a 3rd umpire. So we've got all 3 newbies out there tonight, and what a night for the lights to go flashing down.
We like to put them in at the deep end, see how they cope.
Yeah, what's the there was not much panic from the three of them out there. They just seemed to sort it out. Great bowl there by Lawrence. They need to settle down, these two boys. It was just a shame the way that that game started for them. I have to smile though, because the three trainee umpires just kept absolutely and utterly calm, collected out there, dealt with the problem. I kind of wonder if it was the senior umpires threw that in just to throw them. I've got to be careful though, because I've got Dan Blewett next to me, and I think I've got the senior umpire in charge of umpires behind me now.
He's just walked in the room, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't say anything.
So do you think it was Francis that flipped the switch for the lights? It's an interesting game, this. I think from the table that we looked at in the last game, Dan, I don't think either of these players are in contention.
No, it's a dead rubber in terms of the qualification through to the main draw, but pride of their own play here to play for.
1 green.
Yes, and it's a second game on the portable for Malcolm Whyte, but the first game out there for Lawrence Hurwitz, so just about settling down and enjoying it. Going quick here.
He did something similar today, didn't he? Earlier on today.
Yeah, I wonder if it perhaps feels like it loosens him. He also has got a very outdoor flat green delivery. So he does seem to go very quick when he plays a runner.
Yeah, of course, in Canada they only really play outdoors. In general, they do have some indoor facilities, but generally outdoors. They qualify outdoors as well.
Yes, I believe the qualifiers are outdoors.
One shot, Lawrence Hurwitz.
So opening end there to the Israeli Lawrence Hurwitz. Lawrence never qualified before in a WBT event. Just trying to work out how to pronounce his indoor club there. He obviously plays indoors in Israel.
Ranera, is it? I don't know.
It's hard to just read his handwriting, but it looks like that.
Jack length, 28.5 metres.
Used to the likes of Zvika Hadar or his brother qualifying. They're the most frequent qualifiers. In fact, Zvika was one of the nominees for International Overseas Player of the Year for the WBT Awards last night. Malcolm Whyte won many events over in Canada, and he did qualify here for 2013 in the pairs. So he has experienced potters before, but he didn't get out on the portable ring. He was just in the bowler's bar playoffs. Yep. His father's Scottish, so he has a connection to over here.
Good ball here from Lawrence.
I believe Malcolm Whyte actually brought his own bowls over from the
Red and
days.
green?
Yes, red and green. He doesn't like playing with gripped bowls. He was aware that there was no non-gripped bowls, sorry, in the World Bowls Tour pool of bowls, so he decided to bring his bowls over with him, red and green. Looks down a decent line here again. He's got an adjustment on his weight.
2 green.
I've had a question in from Karen about the bowls clothing. The tops, the red and green tops, are provided by World Bowls Tour. The players pick them up before the start of the game and hand them in at the end of the day. They do not remain their property, they remain the property of the World Bowls Tour. But as a player you have to provide your own white trousers, skirt, culottes or shorts. They have to be white tailored trousers. If you want to wear a belt, you've got to be a white belt and predominantly white bowl shoes. That's similar for the officials here, except for they have to provide their own black trousers, black belt. Their black tops are given to them at the beginning of the day, and then they have to return them in
3 green.
at night. And a nice little plug for the shoes. The shoes for the World Bowls Tour officials are sponsored by Drake's Pride. They're provided by Drake's Pride, as is all the bowls equipment and mats and jacks. So Karen, I hope that gives you a full comprehensive answer to your question. One declared green.
Okay. 2 shots, Lawrence Hurwitz.
So Lawrence Hurwitz takes the second end as well.
Set score 0-3 after 2 ends.
I guess Lawrence probably hasn't had much time for practice out on the portable rink before this game, but he settled down quite well.
He has played 2 games previously, but I'm assuming they were both out on the bowler's bar because this is the first time I've seen Lawrence. There's my commentary position. Is overlooking the portable rink, and you get to see everybody that plays out here. It's a great view. Changed about slightly from last year as we have a new production company, so we've got an all singing and all dancing porter cabin with all the equipment in, which has freed up a great viewing area for commentary now. And I have to say the match officials tend to use it as their bolt hole as well. Talk of the devil and one walks in the door behind you. Good start again from Lawrence. It's a length bowl. We've just been handed the up-to-date situation in the tables. I'll just give Dan a little bit of time to process that information, and then I'm sure he'll let you all know how it's panning out. Don't forget, I've got Dan with me for the remainder of this game this evening. If you've got any questions, do bob them to us. We're quite happy to answer what we can for you. If we can't find the answers between us, we will ask somebody. And let us know where you're viewing from. We've had a couple of interesting ones today to add to our list of viewers' countries. Let us know. It's always interesting to know where we've got people tuning in from. One of our games this afternoon, we hit 3,000 viewers for at one point in time, which was fantastic for such early rounds of the events. And bearing in mind, in the olden days, many moons back, when World Bowls Tour itself didn't provide this streaming facility, you didn't get to see any of these games. Whereas now, we bring you every bowl played at the World Bowls Tour ranking events.
On green.
Still one green. Mark, I'm just having a quick look at this. I think he's got 2 seconds. It's possibly 3 seconds. Now that he goes quite aggressively in his game, he might go and try and just flick the green bowl out. Well, is he on target? Oh, he got that perfectly. What a great result out of that. I think he's holding 3 shots.
Certainly looks like 3. Brings him back into the match.
It's a toucher in the ditch as well, but I don't think that'll be counting.
3 shots, Malcolm Whyte.
What a great shot that was.
Set score 3-3 after 3 ends.
Okay, we have a fairly complex situation with the current position in the singles playoff group. Dan Le Mesurier and Andy Squire both played 3. Both played 3 games, both on 4.5 points. Dan Le Mesurier plus 33 shot difference, Andy Squire plus 22. Both have one game tomorrow morning. Dan plays first against Jordi. Now Jordi is in 3rd position, 3.5 points with a shot difference of plus 22. One of those 3 players will be going through to the main draw, playing Nicky Brett on Thursday. If Dan wins his game 2-0, he's almost certainly through. But if Andy beats Lawrence by a significant shot difference, he could still pip Dan to the post. So it's still complex. And Jordi, if he wins 2 sets to love against Dan Le Mesurier, he's back in the mix again. So it's still all to play for tomorrow.
I think that's very good though, Dan, if it's all still to play for on the last day. Often you find the situation where games don't matter, and that's a shame. This is a shame of a game, really. It's neither of these players can qualify through to face Nick Brett. What a prize that is to get through to the main draw and play one of the top 16. It's something that us qualifiers just dream of. When you can actually do it, you make it through. I was very fortunate a couple of years ago to qualify into the main draw, and I faced Mervyn King, and it's certainly something you never forget when you step foot in the open singles.
That's one thing I'll never have, is that feeling, but I did have the feeling when I first stepped on the blue carpet to mark my first game. 6 years ago now.
2 green.
Only another 14 to go to match Alan.
Alan may still be here then. You never know.
Very, very possibly. If you think about, we won't mention ages, but if we think about how young he must have been when he started, I mean, when he started as an umpire at 4 or 5 years old, it's well, he tells me he's only 24, 25. So, you know, he was certainly one of the younger umpires that.
I think you need to double that age.
Yeah, I wasn't going to give it away for Alan, but you are correct. But yeah, he was one of the younger umpires to start with the World Bowls Tour, as was our very good friend Brian Daly.
Three green.
And of course we also have Mike Davies, who also has served 20 years. He joins us on Tuesday evening, I believe. I think he's actually officiating in the first game up on Wednesday morning.
I think that's correct, yeah.
Marked the final here last year.
Wear the old ones out first, I say.
Oh, now will he be tuning in this evening?
Good friend is Mike.
Yeah,
He won't mind.
looking forward to seeing Mike on Tuesday night. Nice smiles between the two players there, having a bit of a chat as they walk up after the last deliveries. I think Evans has a chance of counting 4 now. He's just tipped the jack.
Four shots, Lawrence Hurwitz.
4 shots.
Set score 3-7 after 4 ends.
Certainly Lawrence seems to be the more settled of the two players out there. Although it's a dead rubber, they are playing for a bit of pride. Currently Lawrence ranks 5th in the group of 5. Malcolm at 4th. Half a point and 1 point respectively.
Jack length 28.5 meters.
Please don't forget, if you've got any questions you want to ask us, do pop them down on either the Facebook or YouTube chat. Don't forget, with these games we play all the ends, all 7 ends in the 2 sets. We don't play a tie break. That's because it's part of the round robin.
One red.
pace here. Needs to pass the red bowl.
2 red.
Just overplayed that. Just not settled down in this game as he did the game this morning. Bet here from Lawrence.
1 green. One shot, Lawrence Hurwitz.
Set score 3-8 after 5 ends.
Well, Lawrence failed to set a mark there, so
Jack length 28 metres.
the honour went to Malcolm.
We had a few ends this morning where we had incorrectly cast jacks on a couple of ends. And in fact, Lawrence had one in the ditch on one. Sorry, not Lawrence, Malcolm. One in the ditch, one end, and then the very next end deliver the jack to the side of the rink and out. And the one thing that players don't do here is they don't practice jack casting, because when they practice they have 2 jacks, one either end. They just place it. And casting of a jack is very much an important part of the game.
You're quite right there, Dan. We don't practice it in practice out there, and yet it is very important, and they do skim across the top of the surface out there.
Yep.
The rink's running very quickly anyway, so that just adds to the problems you have with jack delivery. Of course, these 2 guys played earlier rounds of this round robin out on the bowler's bar rinks, which are a little bit pushier than here.
Two green.
And even though both players have had a practice out here and Malcolm had a game on here this morning, it is difficult. Conditions change throughout the day. Quicken up, slow down. Different numbers of people in the arena. Ambient temperature and all that sort of stuff. And when the carpet's running extremely quickly anyway, those changes can make a huge difference.
see if you have stayed in tonight to watch this final game this evening. A lot of the people here that come to visit Potters like this opening weekend because they get to meet a lot of the overseas players as well as see all the top players perform in the Open Pairs tournament. And of course there's the awards night as well, so it's quite a good weekend for people to book. Oh, we have got a varied audience out there. We've got somebody tuning in to us in Tasmania. Big shout out to Tasmania. I'm now going to check my little list, Dan, but I have a feeling we might have had...
Coming in opting to come with a bit of weight. He was only one down, but there was a potential for a larger count if it went his way, but it didn't.
One shot, Lawrence Hurwitz.
Set score 3-9 after 6 ends.
Although we haven't declared the end because they have to play all ends in a set. Sorry, declared the set. We have to play all ends. And Lawrence is guaranteed a set point here.
I don't think it needs us to do any more mathematics on those. Well, I'm saying us do any more mathematics.
We'll leave that to the tournament director's office.
That's something like that, yes. It's,
but with that set win, that does put Lawrence in 4th place, 4th ranked. And
Jack length 27 metres.
like you said before, Dan, there's a lot of pride at stake out there. You've played a lot of games to qualify. Certainly Lawrence will have come through quite a tough field out in Israel. Some really strong players we've had through over the years.
One red.
Just sat down. So it's good to have our eyes out on the rink. Dominic Simcoe.
Yeah, that's what he's there for, to give us and the audience information, and the bowlers, of course.
I'm glad you put that in that order. I'm sure most people would say that the bowlers come first, but it's
absolutely
good for us and the viewers to know what's happening.
Of course, the players can ask the marker questions throughout the game if they choose to, or choose not to. Of course, there's no shot clock here for the prelim singles, so there's no pressure for them to complete their delivery within 30 seconds. or indeed pressure on the marker to answer questions within that 30 seconds.
One red.
Done a good line again here, Lawrence. Wait, like now, to just start slowing up. A chance, bit of the jack.
Falls in with it, he's got the shot. Yep, there we go.
One green.
Certainly played very consistently here. Oh no, this was a question that was asked earlier, Dan. I can ask you it. We've got Malcolm walking up the rink with a bowl in his hand. What would happen if he dropped it?
Well, if he dropped it into the head, he's disturbed it, and the opposing player has all the rights to put things back to where he or she thought the bowls were, and the person who dropped it has no say in that. So it's always recommended to leave the bowl at the mat end, because you never know.
But if he just dropped it halfway down the rink and it
Halfway
didn't
down.
affect anything?
No,
One shot.
shouldn't
First
be.
set.
Not a problem.
Lawrence
It's not been
Hurwitz.
delivered. Someone said he's physically delivered it from the mat, that it's counted as a delivery. Of course, he may drop it at his foot, hurt his toes, and all sorts of things.
Well, today I've found another rule that's totally different in the Crown Green to the indoor then. I've learnt a new one. Learning every day. In the Crown Green, and I'm sure there might be one or two viewers out there that do play Crown Green, if you drop your bowl, the rule is you've got to be able to reach to pick it up from the mat, otherwise it's a dead bowl.
Interesting. No such thing on the
So if you
laws of
stood on the
indoor
mat and it
bowls or
slips out
outdoor
your
bowls.
hand, as long as you
Jack
can
down,
get it
28.5
back,
metres.
you can redeliver it, but
So long legs and long arms are
something
useful.
like that. And try not to drop the bowl.
I guess you tend not to go up to the head end in Crown Green as you've only got the two bowls. Although you can't sometimes see what you're aiming at, can you? With the crowns.
No.
If they're large crowns.
A lot of the top players will follow the first bowl up and walk back down anyway, so they'll have got an idea what shot to play. Somebody will no doubt come on the streaming and correct me, but I believe that used to be the rule way back when I played Crown Green. But yes, that was a question that was asked in the Books Fizz reception this evening. That was for new people arriving on site. Oh, we've got to give a shout out to that person that's just appeared on the chat, haven't we, Zvika? Hello, Zvika. Hope you're well.
Supporting his countrymen. Come on, Lolly, he says. I'm sure that means Lawrence.
He's playing very well, Zvika. He's certainly settled onto a more consistent game than Malcolm. And it's all about that. It's all about being better than your opponent.
One green. 2 green. One red.
Ball. Don't know whether he meant to play that pace. He's a right grin on his face there, Malcolm.
5 inches past Jack
He
High.
got the result. His dad's out there watching him somewhere, and I also see the Gallipos are out there. They represented Canada in the overseas pairs playoffs. Father and son.
They'll obviously be out there supporting Malcolm, wishing him the best. Lawrence conceding 2. Doesn't look as though he wants to concede any more.
Okay, we'll get a measure just to, yeah, measure.
Malcolm asking for a measure.
Green and red. Measure for third. Sorry. Yeah. I got it. Yeah, I'm touching. Locked. Yep. Touching. Yeah. Okay. 2. 2 shots. Malcolm Whyte.
Okay, here the jack minimum distance has to be 23 metres. The mat is up a fair distance up. So if it's not reached 23 metres in a direct line from the mat, it's returned. So it looks like it's about 22.5 metres. The measure we use is 30 metres in length. Only needs to go to 23, and the jack didn't reach 23 metres. So it's therefore returned back for the opposing player to deliver instead.
Jack length, 27 metres.
I think that's the first time the long tapes have been used this week. Dan, I can't recall. Might have been out on the bowler's bar.
Yeah, bowler's bar was used, but I don't think it's been used in here yet. Yeah, you might be right.
The twice that I can remember that the jack was short, it was actually obviously short. Matt was back and the jack didn't reach the spot. The first spot.
Yeah, viewers can probably see the spots in the centre of the green.
One green. One red.
Interesting start to the second set from Malcolm. We've just got a shout out to do for Dartmouth Lawn Bowls Club, who are all watching this together. My production team have just said if you are all together, try and get a photograph, a selfie with all of you in it if you can, and post it for us. That would be great to see. And if our production team get that photo quick enough, we could possibly feature that at the end of this game. Another shot here at the moment.
One shot,
yep, one
Malcolm
declared.
Whyte.
3-0 after 2 ends.
Let's see if Malcolm deliver the jack a legal length this time. He was struggling earlier with bowling the jack to the side, which wasn't ideal.
I'm just now puzzling to myself, Dan, if that's Dartmouth, England or not, because there will be, I think there might be a Dartmouth in Australia.
Quite possibly. Dartmouth would obviously be down South Devon perhaps somewhere.
Good grief, 10 to 10.
Jack length,
My
28
brain's
metres.
working in overdrive trying to work that one out.
Or is it Dartmouth, Canada? We don't know, do we?
Could be.
I'm sure somebody will let us know.
Dartmouth in Israel. Good opener again here from Malcolm Whyte. Settled down on a better game this morning in the second set as well, so obviously just takes a bit of settling into the games.
One red.
Another decent delivery there from Malcolm. Puts the pressure back on Lawrence. He'll want to
1 red.
win both sets here. A lot of pride at stake.
Yeah, because of course if Malcolm wins this set, then he will leapfrog back above Lawrence.
We've had an answer to our question, Dan. It's Dartmouth in Canada. I'll add that to my list of places that are viewing.
Well, hello to everybody from Dartmouth Bowling Club in Canada.
But they're not all actually at the bowling club because apparently it's closed till April because it's so cold in Canada.
Can't be colder than here, surely.
I was just going to say we'll have to speak to Malcolm afterwards and find out if he thinks it's colder over there or over here. It's been pretty nippy here. We've been very fortunate to not have much rain, but it's been very cold.
Ask the Aussies from Western Australia, they think it's cold.
One red.
Wow. Clarification even further on that point. It's minus 20 in Dartmouth, Canada. I'm just thinking to myself, would it
One
be
shot,
minus
Malcolm Whyte.
20 on Dartmouth in England?
Set score 4-0 after 3 ends.
Possibly not right now, but in February it might get down to that position, but only for the odd day or two. Have to be extreme weather though. The country would probably close.
You see, we're used
Jack
to the
blank,
cold up
28
north.
metres.
Oh, you still wear t-shirts and shorts when it's cold, don't you, up there?
We do indeed.
Southern softies amongst us. Not me, of course.
Of course.
So we're into N4, the second set. That comes a 4-0 lead. Be hoping it continues for the rest of the set that way.
Nice wide drawing line here. Got to be perfect weight to make it back to centre.
Don't think that's quite making the trip. But Dominic will come in and have a look and tell us.
Still favour you 2.
Still 2 red.
10 inches. Short of jack high.
As ever, our markers will be telling them what they favour when it's close. It's only an opinion. There's no fact until the players come down and decide for themselves, or the umpire is called on to do a measure.
Oh, can that sneak past the green ball? Well, rock the green ball. Often bowls shuffle along the carpet a little bit if they're rocked.
Yes, no change.
Just feel, yeah, he's going to have to swap his hand here. Don't risk shuffling that red bowl again, green ball again, rather, if he wants to try and win this set.
Not quite able to control the weight this way.
No, I think
Just
that's
running
why he's
past.
stuck with his backhand.
Yeah, a lot of players tend to favour backhand both ways. I don't know if you feel the same way, Janice, at the moment on the carpet.
Well, I would be awkward, Dan, wouldn't I?
You're forehand and forehand. You're round the clock that way.
But that tends to be the way it works at a lot of clubs. I think the backhand going back towards the commentary position is just starting to show a few nuances, as they would say.
Okay.
A lot of players have a favoured hand as well.
2 shots, Malcolm Whyte.
2 shots conceded by Lawrence to Malcolm.
Set score 6-0 after 4 ends. Jack length 28 meters.
Not quite dominated this end. Malcolm just dropped 2 balls short here. 3 ends left to play this evening. Of course, we start again tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. You can't stay with us this evening. Do pick up all the news and results on worldbowlstour.tv.
Two green.
we've had a viewer's question about practice,
One green.
Dan, and of course every player that plays in the event on the portable rink has the chance to book practice sessions. They're half-hour sessions for 2 players each session. Start about 7:30 in the morning and go through till about midnight every day. So when the rink isn't being used for matches, there will be people out there practicing. So yes, players get the chance to book practice. They also get the chance to try different sets of bowls, whichever they're happy with. We've also got to remember that these 2 players have played the majority so far of their games in this round robin out on the bowlers' bar rinks, which are considerably heavier than the portable rink. But yeah, they can book practices. It is at a premium at the moment. I know got to book very early for practices.
Yeah, we still have all of the first round matches in the open singles event to take place. We've got 32 players in that, or 31 guaranteed at the moment. One of these group of
2 green
premium players will also be into that 32, and they all want practice slots. And when we've got a full schedule of matches going on, those practice slots are very thin on the ground.
I think it's become better now. We're down to half-hour practice slots. Oh, is this going to stay on the rink?
Yeah, he's lost that one in the side.
The one in the side. We used to be hour slots, and that was very hard to book times, whereas now we've cut it down to half-hour slots to 2 players.
Two shots, Lawrence Hurwitz.
Set score 6-2 after 5 ends.
Two ends left to play in this round robin game.
Jack length 28.5 meters.
One red.
The winner of this round robin will of course face Nick Brett on Thursday. We mentioned this earlier, and the interesting thing is one of them that's still in the equation for this is Dan Le Mesurier, who actually played Nick Brett in the Scottish International Open. Well, as he would say, he went on the rink against him. Whether he played or not is another question. It was something that Dan would like to have another go at, try and put the record straight, so to speak. So he's quite determined to get through these group stages, and from our calculations it's going to end up being one of 3 players: Dan Le Mesurier,
1 red.
Jordi Lowe or Andy Squire, who'll face Nick Brett on Thursday afternoon.
And of course Dan has actually taken the place of Charlie Herbert, who was due to be in the draw, but unfortunately couldn't travel from the States. He was unwell. It was fortunate that Dan was here in the Open Pairs tournament and actually lost to Charlie in the US playoff final. So Dan has taken Charlie's place. I'm sure Charlie is
1 green.
wishing Dan well for that. And we wish Charlie speedy recovery.
One shot, Lawrence Hurwitz. Set score 6-3 after 6 ends.
Last end this evening, folks.
So this is interesting that Lawrence can pip a half point out of this. He will finish in 4th place. Whereas currently, if Malcolm wins the set, he will finish in 4th place.
Jack length 28 meters.
Well, the target for Lawrence here is 3 shots to tie this set. Get himself position 4 in the table. Lawrence is featured in one of our tomorrow morning's games as well against Andy Squire. That'll be a very interesting game because Andy Squire was superb out there in the previous game.
One green.
Just slipped past the green short bowl, got a chance. Little wiggle.
Little wry smile.
One red.
Lawrence's face there. Didn't help his quest to try and draw the set.
Just short that time.
One red.
Still the one. I can't see a way that Lawrence can get the 3 out of this.
Short of taking that red out without disturbing the jack.
There's a room
No.
through the middle. It's possible, but doesn't look like there's a shot on for it. Thought he might have come to have a look. He's trying it. Got to try and clip the bowl out.
But he hasn't played anything more than a draw in the whole game, has he? So
no, he's played the weighty shot, but not on the line. So my calculations at the moment, that means Malcolm Whyte steps into 4th place in the table.
yeah, I think that's correct.
Shake of hands.
Leapfrogs back above.
Game over, folks. Interesting game, and of course we've got 2 more interesting games in the round robins in the morning. Thanks so much for your company this evening, Dan.
You're welcome,
One shot in
Dennis.
the second set. Malcolm
We'll
Whyte.
have a look
Match
ahead
tied.
to what's happening tomorrow here. There's our order of play for tomorrow, 10 AM in the morning. Join us for Dan Lemessurier versus Jordi Lowe. Following that straight away will be Lawrence Hurwitz versus Andy Squire. And then the 2 semi-finals of the World Indoor Bowls Open Pairs Championship. Paul Foster MBE and Alex Marshall MBE versus Colin Walker and Ronnie Duncan. And following that directly, Mark Royal and Andy Thompson MBE versus Greg Harlow and Nick Brett. Join us tomorrow. Thanks so much for your company tonight. Speak to you tomorrow.